Hello, welcome. It's me, Chrono JJ, your wonderful tournament host for the Athenian League. And we are hopefully, as long as the recorded games don't go out of sync, which I'm crossing my fingers and my toes as well. I'm going to watch a set of recorded games for the very last, very final match of the Centaur division, which, if you look on the screen, I've got the records here. And this division is these people just don't want to win, apparently. Um, Everybody has four matches here. You play one match against everybody else in the division. There's only one match left, which we're going to watch the recorded games. And you can see everything. Everything is very dependent on this match. There's 3 points to be had here in this match. You get 1 point for each win. They play 3 games regardless. So Doze could get first. Doze could get last. Genoese Crossbowman could get first. He could get last. They could all tie, which would really, really blow my mind. If it's a 2-1 series in favor of Doze, we'd end up with a perfect 5-way tie. And we'll just disqualify everybody and move on with our lives. But we'll see. I'm actually very worried about the recorded games because retold recorded games go out of sync. But let's jump in and see what happens here with our recorded games. I did never say that. I felt like that would be an assumed. You gotta win, right? Hold on. The music is a little loud in my ears. I have the replays. I will load them and oh, that's not we're loading games. Loading the games right here. I'm hoping they work. I do not know the results. So, Doze versus the Genoese Crossbowman. We see a few people from the division in the chat, including Doze in person. I'm hoping these don't go out of sync. So, who are we looking at? I know Doze likes to play some Norse. Been a lot of Norse being played by Doze. He's the blue player down here, building an extra ox cart and all that. And the Genoese Crossbowman, who's gotten lost and wandered away from Age of Empires 2, because I believe it's a unit in Age of Empires 2, has wandered to Age of Mythology. Currently 2-1, so the Genoese Crossbowman could take the division by the horns and win here. We'll see. We shall see. Boy, if the first 2 games go 1-1, I'll have to see what the next what the last game is. Hello, Nimo Noon. So what we look like we're on. This used to be Tropical Mirage on Legacy. I think it's called the Giza now. Right? Yes, it's called Giza. This is Giza. There should be some pyramids somewhere. Right here. Yeah, there's a pyramid. They provide nothing other than just eye candy for the map. But it's kind of cool. I like it. This was one of my more favorite maps that got introduced towards the end of Age of Mythology's, the Legacy's life, and I'm glad to see it has returned. Here in Retold, you can see it. There's these nice. I just like how there's a path that connects the pyramids. So if you're really wanting to know where the pyramids are, you just follow the path and they connect. Well, they must have been drunk when they designed this path because it certainly isn't straight. But yeah, I love this little path. But it really doesn't matter for the game itself. What does matter are gold mines and hunt. You got hunt that kind of spawns in every little green area in the map. So you got kind of you got your 4 green areas for your town centers. Those will get you rhinoceros. And then you've got 2 extra green areas that will each spawn. Typically, I think it's gazelle. Maybe it can be zebra, but we've got gazelle here. And then the gold mines, you get one in your base, which is fairly standard for most maps. And then get your rest of your mines, which got one pretty close one each player does, but then the rest are little bit more aggro. And this map overall is pretty aggro because it's not not closed. It's wide open, as we see. I do like this. I like this play. I think it's always worth it if your enemy Oracle wanders too close to your base. It's well worth the resources to chase it and kill it. I would do that every time, as Doze did here. Just the loss of the favor is a big problem for Atlantean, who likes to spam out their god powers. We also see our Chronos player. Doze is, I don't see, oh, here it is, right down here. And how close is he to aging up? I can't see. Can I see if I click here? Doesn't tell me. I can't even really tell on here. Oh, he's almost aged up. So I'll have these little Promethean claymen wandering around. Here they come. Oh, wait, nope, not Prometheans at all. You went up Leto. So we got 2 automatons, a double myth unit spam, which I like that. I like that little benefit here. And he's coming right on the wood. You better watch out. Oh, you don't want to lose. He might lose a villager. Oh, nope. Oh, no. Oh, no. He could have taken a few more shots. The early pressure here, this does a lot, especially at the not top level, because it just seems that, I guess, the less experienced or the less talented, so to speak, a player is, the more they struggle with pressure. We see the deconstruct trapping the troll. The troll get out of here. Yeah, run troll. He might die. I would just, ooh, should have kept him running. This is a lot of pressure here. You have no temple for more Herseer. I feel like Doze probably should have had at least one Herseer come out. And then these guys repair themselves all up. This is some tough pressure here. I don't know. Having only one, he really should make another unit from his town center. Doze should, not the dwarves. Make, what are they, the berserks you make from the town center? They used to be old Sarks back in my day, and oh, this is painful. Oh, and then he just gets eaten up. Should have retargeted the buildings onto the eggs. Could have just killed them. I think the eggs only have like 10 hit points or something. And this is just a disastrous start. We already got a warrior automaton, the upgrade, which makes them... Let's take a look. What do we got here? They regenerate more and they have more hit points. And we finally have a Herseer who showed up. But this has been just disaster for Doze. He should just kill this. Where's he going? I don't know why he's running away here, because there's absolutely nothing to pressure him. Maybe he wanted to heal, but he should have just... He could have killed this temple, or this great hall. So... This maybe speaks to the fact that, you know, the players just all want to tie each other. Maybe he's giving Doze, you know, a chance. Like, I don't want to just kill you this easy. I'll fall back and let you finish this great hall. Where are the other units, though? Got a few Murmillo here, but they are a little bit out of position. Yeah, we've got... What do we got? 6 Automaton now? And only 3 Murmillo? I feel like the Genoese Crossbowman is a little bit behind on his automaton, or his military unit production. Because, yeah, this is just begging Doze just to dive in with all of his Herseer, and you'll get like a myth unit probably spawn. And that'd be worrisome for me. Ooh, I like this little wall here. You don't need to make a lot of walls, but some very key walls are always very important when it comes to defense. And I like this wall here. You could almost even wall... Oh, he's walling over to the pyramid. Is there room to get on this side? I like this wall too. But I don't know if they can slide past this bottom edge here. It's kind of hard to tell how big the hitbox is for the pyramid. Up here we've got... The Genoese Crossbowman has just kind of been sitting happily in his base. There's been absolutely no pressure, and this is what you want out of your early game pressure. But the old Crossbowman is kind of taking his foot off the gas a little bit here. He could have ended this game. He could have killed this Great Hall and kept him at one production unit or one production building. And instead, he fell back, and now he's kind of letting Doze get a pretty big army here. And I mean, look at, does he know these units are here? I mean, he can see the villagers. Just run up here, make them go idle. Ooh, went for the path block, gets one. Not a big deal, but yeah, he needs to run in. Well, not like this, though. Get on these vills. This one's almost dead. There he goes. Now he's causing some idle time. That's what I like to see. Don't dive in too deep, though. You made him go idle. You can run back. Boy, these things are so loud. Man, they just make all sorts of racket. So as long as actually Doze can get a good fight, he has all of the counters. He's got Throwing Axeman for the Murmillo. He's got Hersier for the Warrior Automaton. Just has to be careful not to like get caught out. Really, I would say Doze has no reason to go out of his base right now. I'd almost like to see him split off and send like 4 Hersier up to Green's base. Because he knows all this army is forward, and there's going to be nothing defending. Like, you send 4 Hersier here, and now it's all of a sudden disaster. But, oh, we scrolled back just as the Genoese Crossmen ran in and face tanked some Throwing Axeman bullets. I guess they aren't bullets, they're axes. Here's the first hero taking a random shot to Gazelle. To snag 1 unit with the eggs. Oh, maybe 2. Got 2 units here. I'm not sure about the placement of these eggs here. I almost feel like you want to put them over here because this is going to be the next important resource. Will be that. Let's see what Doze is doing. Is he sending... I mean, even if he just sends 2 Hersier forward. Ooh, yeah. This getting free hunt over here as well. But yeah, always, when you're on defensive like this, and your enemy has his entire army forward, always try to just send out like 2 units just to cause some mayhem aggressively. Yeah, this is what I mean. Now this is the important resource right here. But he's just ignoring it. And he's coming up here. I think he's just now realized, they were hunting. I shouldn't have allowed this. So he's pushed this back. But yeah, these eggs here just don't accomplish a whole lot. Should have just preemptively put him over here. We do have... Is he aging up? Both players actually have a ton of resources right now. This is a little bit dangerous. This is such an immobile army. He's really risking getting collapsed on here. I don't know if I like this. Forcing some idle time, but yeah, this is a dangerous place to be in. Because you've got the most immobile army kind of in the history of Age of Mythology here. Yeah, there'd be a strong chance of it getting collapsed. We do have Nord coming in. Okay, oh, we're going to see a fight. We're going to see your first big fight. Cherubalist coming in. Oh. I like the way this fight's going for the Genoese Crossbowman. Just gotta get on the horse here. Yeah, I don't... Oh, that's a tough fight there. Didn't have anything to get on top of the Kira Ballista, so they took some nice fights here, nice shots, and it's kind of one of those things you might as well not take that fight when you're aging up to heroic age, because you've got a bit of a power spike coming up. There's no point in fighting that. Oh, get this one, finish it. Everybody's on food. Everybody's on food. Here comes a few raiding cavalry. I was thinking, yeah, we might want to get a few raiding cavalry, but the problem is there's absolutely no hearse here now. And wait, there. This is where I wanted to see these placed before. And it looks like, I mean, Genoese Crossbowman is floating tons of resources. But it's like he wants to age up, but he isn't. Oh, we need a temple for our giant. See this too, where if you don't take that fight, you being Doze, and instead just stay in your base and run your Hersier forward, you could actually make this into a base trade game where you use the trees up here on the undefended base. And instead you'd use it defensively, and I don't know how that will go. Because Automaton have attack bonuses versus myth units, right? Like all myth units do. Oh, this is not a good fight. Oh no, get back! And then when you take a bad fight, these Chiro Ballista just punish so much too. I look at all these throwing axemen. And then we've got just one raiding cavalry. And then yeah, the Automaton will absolutely shred the trees. So in the end, it does look like the Genoese Crossbowman is going to take this first game here. Ended up being pretty convincingly, but there was some room for Doze to come back, and he just stayed a little too defensive in his base. Needed to come out, send a few units, and I would have loved to have seen a base trade. But here's kind of our last hurrah right here. The Hersier just having such a hard time getting on any targets. You can see they're just wandering around, and then they're all dead. And I think that is about it. Does he really have this many resources in the bank? A mere 6,000 resources? Is that really right? But yeah, well, this is going to be game one where Doze will lose, which is okay. That does put us one step closer to our 5-way tie in the division. But yeah, in the end, the early pressure was just too much for Doze to manage. And we're hoping for a miracle here. I'm not sure what, but we are hoping for a miracle. We might as well just send the boys. We do have a couple. What are these? I always forget their names. The Goaty? Yeah. Couple Goaty. Half Danner, Ragnarson, Gunner, and Hedden. And villagers that are very confused. What do we do now? They're contemplating the future of their civilization. And you could have almost too, if you were able to tank up some gold. What does it cost for Loki to change these to the berserks now? Is it 30 gold? Is it a little bit of food? Like you could have maybe even try to do that. But yeah, it was just that bad fight while aging up. It's just kind of doomed you to what had happened here. It kind of a rule of thumb. If you're aging up, don't take a fight like ever. Do whatever you can to avoid fighting while you're aging up. We got the chaos, which will result in these skirmishers now hating each other, the hero skirmishers. And got a few units left. Looks like he is trying to go for the mass Berserk Narak, but I mean, there's nothing to kill these warrior automatons. It's kind of one of those things where once you lose the first fight, you kind of just keep losing against this pressure. This was some very good pressure by the Genoese Crossman. I would say the only flaw he had was letting this Great Hall come up. But yeah, Doze maybe just age up a little quicker, try to get that Hersier out a little bit faster. When you're stuck to just one unit, probably should build one out of your town center. But hey, we got through this game without and out of sync, so that's cool. Like equal in economy all the way up to the 9-minute, so I'm not really behind. It's just if we take a look at the kill death ratio, it's a bad fight to take in. I mean, also remember too that when you hit the heroic age, your heroes get their free upgrade from aging up. They essentially get a free line upgrade. So yeah, just never fight when you're aging up. It's this one right here. 11.5 minute, you lose half of your army, and then here comes the age up, and it's too late now. I would have loved to see a base trade, but anyway, that's game one. We are one step closer, I guess, to our magical 5-man try. The Genoese Crossbowman gets the first win of the series, but we got 2 more games. So if Doze finishes the next 2 games off, we get our 5-way tie. Why does it keep going to multiplayer? So game number 2. So the rule in the tournament here, if you're not a player and are wondering, once you win with a god, you can't pick that god again. What we actually have both players changing gods on a map that's called, looks like Alfheim. And hello, AOT bystander. Because yeah, we've got Freyr here now for Doze on Alfheim. And we have the Genoese Crossbowman has switched over to Ra, so kind of a completely different... Oh, did he screw up this mining camp placement? Kind of a completely different game plan here. He's getting pickaxe. This is good. Good little start here, actually. He's got the pickaxe build going, but does this mean his... Which side am I looking at here? Does he have pickaxe, or did he not get it? Oh, he didn't get pickaxe. Never mind. That's Doze is getting pickaxe. So Genoese Crossbowman is kind of messing up this build just a little bit. You want to get your wood before you build your mining camp. And you'll hear, if you watch Boit, you'll hear Boit talk about it. You can get pickaxe at like the 2-minute mark and not have any sort of idle time. The Genoese Crossbowman is really struggling with the bare minimum here with food. But yeah, there's a little bit of issues. I'm actually wondering too, is there enough room in between this mining camp? And I think he built it too close. I don't think they could fit in between here, which may seem like a very little thing. But over the course of the game, this will cost Genoese Crossbowman some villager time. Especially as you start packing more on, they're just gonna have to keep sliding further around. Whereas you can cram like 5 or 6 in between normally. So not a great start for the Genoese Crossbowman. Doze, on the other hand, down here, he's Norse. He's got the ox cart, so it's kind of hard to screw up your economic placements. He did already get pickaxe. Oh, I'm trying to cast a god power for him. Yep, he has pickaxe already. Doing a little bit of scouting forward. We saw a relic. Moves of favor for fortresses. Not bad. We forgot to look at the relics last game. A lot of new relics in Retold. I'm very happy about that. I love relics. The more relics, the better. Ranged soldiers have more hit points. I don't think... Ooh, that probably applies to throwing axemen. So, not bad for Doze. And yes, I am casting bystander. This is, I don't know if you're aware, not a ton of people are. There's an Athenian league going on. It's kind of an intermediate level tournament that I'm running. It's a league setting, kind of like RTS League, if you're familiar with that. And this is the very final match of the Centaur division, where pretty much everybody's tied. So this last match has effects on everyone in the division, because nobody's yet eliminated. Right now, Doze, though, he has to win these last 2 matches to not get eliminated. if he loses these 2 matchups, he's last. Crossbowman is first. And then it would probably go to strength of victory would determine the 3-way tie. Because somebody would have beaten the Genoese Crossbowman, which would give them a strength of victory tiebreaker. Which would get our 2nd place. So, yeah. But anyway, we'll see what we got going on here. Now, why did... I'm a little confused. Because these villagers built the lumber camp holding food, but then came back and returned to here to drop the food off. They should have just dropped it off when they finished. Anyway, we got our age ups here. We've got Bast. I like the Bast. You can be nice and aggressive with it. And we've got, what is it, Oler, I think is what it's called. Put down the Asgardian Hill Fort. 90 seconds. That's a long time to build. He's getting his Herseer out. And we've got the Draugr. Draugr! Oh, build this thing. Come on! Is the Draugr good? Is the Draugr bad? Or is it just pronounced Draug? I think most people feel like the Draugr is bad. Oh, 2 Sphinx already. Now, oh, she forgot to move. We should get... The only downside of the Sphinx is they're very fat kitties, and they path block each other all the time, which makes their rating a little bit worse than what it could be. At this point, he should be getting his upgrades. Yes, we're getting Creo Sphinx, so watch out, though. Oh, we just just run right by. Upgraded the watchtowers. He's running this way to kind of see what's going on. He won't lose his Sphinx here, but, well, unless he runs in a very poor direction. There you go. This guy. Oh, you could path block with some buildings here, maybe. Oh, just one wanders right through. Oh, he's trying. He's doing his best. Oh, just missed. Oh, and he hits the wrong one. No, oh, and doesn't. Oh, the Draugr finishes it off. See, these things are good. Oh, okay. Well, that was a good catch there by Doze. He put a lot of work into that too. Holy cow. But he killed one. This other one runs out. A little bit overly optimistic was the Genoese Crossbowman there. To dive all the way in here. Because what I was talking here is before you really want to start getting too deep into the enemy base, you want to get the 3rd upgrade for your Sphinx. Turn them into the Hierro Sphinx, or however it's pronounced. This Herseer gives up his life. And now he did get some very useful information here, though. He has seen the 3rd monument, and he also has seen the barracks, so he knows what's coming, and saw the axeman as well. So we see all of that coming. He's got a few relics here. Okay, just the ones we already talked about. Does Genoese Crossbowman have any relics? No, he doesn't. He has, getting a 2nd town center. Unempowered, though. This is where I would have liked, so we talk about placement, building placement here. I would have liked to have seen one of these monuments kind of set up ahead of time to be here, so that he could have empowered the construction of this town center and still empowered all of his economic buildings here. So probably put this one right here. Instead, he built this one way forward, which is kind of a peculiar spot. Because actually then what he could have done is put this one here, and then the 3rd one like down here. And then he has Migdal empowerment as well, and mining camp empowerment. As it is, this one's kind of uselessly placed, as is this one. So, you know, base building 101, as we see their first foray across the map. Now with an actual army, we have the Hierarcho Sphinx. Here we go. The upgraded Sphinx. Those over here also getting a town center. Has no clue that the opponent has a town center. Is running away from his gold mine here. The tower is just tickling the units. Those actually, the Genoese crossbowmen here, dodging the arrow fire a little bit there by doing that. Kind of more of an Age of Empires 2 kind of movement that you would see, which I think he does come from Age of Empires 2. Come up to this gold mine, not a big deal. Would have maybe have liked to see this hill fort put up just a bit more forward, because it doesn't quite protect the gold mine here. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Did they make it? Okay, they make it. There we go. Oh, misses his attack. We're electing Mr. Universe. Oh, no, no, no. Go back. No, Draugr, he's gone. He takes some damage, though, but that's too bad. Gave up his life for nothing. Doze doesn't seem to have much of an army. I'm a little worried about Doze here. Doze might have a problem with all Doze axemen. Doze axemen here. Oh, look out! Come on, you gotta heal up your Sphinx, though. If you're the Genoese crossbowman. Triple heal. Triple heal. Another great haul. Kills a couple buildings, not bad. Kind of eco upgrades we got. First line for everything. What kind of eco upgrades we got for the old Genoese crossbowman? He's got no plow. He's got rain, but no plow. I would not recommend that. He does have sacred cats, but no plow. That hurts me. That hurts me a little bit as a closet raw main. It does pain me slightly. Villagers, we've got Doze is kind of way behind, and now we have a problem here. We now have the unsafe gold mine, but some of these Sphinx are pretty weak here. We're almost at the point where Doze could probably afford to take a fight here. You know, a fight long enough to pick off these two Sphinx. This is a pretty aggressive spot here. I like what the Genoese crossbowman is doing so far this game. See a wall. He's got Doze very scared. Very scared. Sitting in the back of his base here. Probably walling off this as well. Not bothering to finish these walls. Yeah, see, now all these Sphinx are getting healed all the way back up. If I were Doze, I would have considered fighting just enough to try to pick these off. It's one of those things you got to keep an eye out on individual unit hit points. Because if you could take those out when they're weak, it's well worth it. Oh man, this is a nice monument, or nice obelisk here to get full on line of sight of what's going on. Now, why not attack the one that's being built? This doesn't really matter. Doze is aging up. Or no, yeah, he is. They're both aging up. We've got Sobek coming in, no longer Hathor, with Locust. And then we've got Aegir coming up with Tempest. And we can see a bunch of raiding cavalry getting made. All sorts of units are getting made right now. He must have been holding on to all sorts of resources. In fact, we've got, even with all this, he's got quite a few resources in the bank. Now, does Doze have enough military buildings? I'm not sure. But yeah, now don't take your fight right before you age up. Stay back. Stay back. We're gonna have an eclipse here. Oh, I don't. These. Actually, just fight this. Oh, the pig comes in. Nice. We get eclipse to retreat. We've got tempest. All the god powers. Oh man, this is why we love Age of Mythology. All right, now get them on the way out. Man, this tempest is slowing these Sphinx down so much. Oh, they get frozen. 2 more go down. This is a nice defense here. A little bit too far in, a little bit too greedy by the Genoese Crossbowman, and he's taking a lot of damage. Go kill this. Come on, piggy. Get this. And he's got to run using Eclipse. And this was a nice turn here. Oh, watch out, though. Don't get greedy now. These units should probably be back with the main army here. Yeah, now you're losing a lot of units. These went too far forward. Who do you even kill it? Does Doze even kill this now? I don't think he does. It's getting the last of the Sphinx, though. That's nice, but is losing his entire army at the same time. Does he have more units somewhere? No. Got a couple of rock giants, though. These are nice. They'll live a while. Not bad for Doze, but it could have gone a lot better. Oh, get the Sphinx here. You're tossing these javelins, getting tossed at the building. You gotta kill this last Sphinx. Gotta kill it. It's like got like 1 hit point on it. Kill it, just 1 shot. There we go. All right. Okay, getting on that Petsuchos. That one retreats. Could get on this one. We got another rain being cast. And we are slowly killing the villagers over here. It actually has killed quite a few villagers. And these rock giants. How many more rock giants? We got any more rock giants coming out? No, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, he's got to retreat. This fight would have gone, I think, differently if Doze wouldn't have dove this far. If you would have stayed down here, like once he pushed these units back, if he comes back down and gets on this Migdal, he would have killed the Migdal, and this entire fight would have gone completely different. Now it's not looking good for him at all. And I'm worried for Doze. I don't have a problem with Retold. I mean, I certainly would never want to go back to the extended edition. Like, if your choice is extended edition versus Retold, there's no way the extended edition would ever come out on top. Legacy, you could maybe argue the original. But now I'm a little worried for Doze because he has no gold. And this Migdal here kind of taken the middle of the map. Yeah, Doze, I think Doze in a tough spot here. It was this fight right here, just too deep. Come back here, kill the Migdal, then you don't have to worry about all these elephants coming out. And would have been in a fantastic spot, but now he's facing the Petsuchos spam. Elephant, Petsuchos, Chariot Archer spam here. Rock Giants are awesome, but they don't do a ton of damage. They're more of just a perma-tank. They're tanking. They tank for days, though. With all this armor. 850 hit points. 60%, 75%. But, would have liked to have seen Doze. Would have liked to have seen Doze play this slightly differently and get a win here. That would have been cool. But yeah, I think this is it. Had a chance there. There was definitely a chance. Just a little careless on the counter attack, and that's always a risky thing when you are defensive and defensive. Then finally you're able to come out. You gotta kind of keep a hold of the reins just a little bit. Went too deep. Could have stayed here, killed this Migdal, and then things would have likely been completely different. Um, See, I mean, to each their own. I think that the of all things with Retold, the graphics are its strongest point. Um, like to me, Retold is everything I wanted from a graphical take of the original. It's 100 times better than the extended edition. Um, there is something though. I mean, I'm not an extended edition fan though, so again, per opinion. There's something to be said though about the original, the original game and the graphics that it's got going on. It's a very simplistic, but it's done really well. Is Retold perfect? No, there's some things I wish were more like the original, but I don't know. I think overall Retold is, as far as gameplay and appearances, mostly what I wanted. Not quite, but mostly. But anyway, I think that does ruin our chances at a perfect tie in the division, because when we're going on, let's go back to our overlay to start off the day here. This was our series, and so far, yeah, the Genoese Crossbowman has won the first 2 games. So regardless of how game 3 goes, he is first place, and Doze is guaranteed to be last. It's okay. It's okay to be last. But we still got another game just for kicks and giggles. We'll watch it. Economically a little bit rough here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're right, Doze. If you focus it, he doesn't get any elephants down, and then it would be completely different. Idle Villas. Yeah, looks like my graphs. Score is kind of hard to understand. It's all over the place. Military resource value. Yeah, because your initial counter here is awesome. But then this is when you go in too far and you have half your army forward and the other half on the Migdal, and you lose so much, you being Doze. While Genoese is almost more of just rebuilding, and then the Migdal stays up. So I think, I mean, it's so amazing where, especially in Age of Mythology, because of god powers and stuff, how like you can do 100 things right or wrong in a game, but oftentimes the game comes down to just one major decision. And yeah, I'm pretty confident that if Doze does this fight better, doesn't lose his army up here, kills the Migdal, he wins. And that one choice could kind of overshadows everything else that happened in the game. That's the way of it sometimes. With Age of Mythology. In any game, but I think Age of Mythology has a greater tendency towards that because of the insane power spikes that you have and the god powers. And if you blow a god power, you probably blow the game. Like if you're Mythic Age god power, you waste it, and your opponent gets something good out of his god power. It's probably just over at that point. Love or hate it. And we've got, what are we looking at here? We are on the Unknown for game number 3, which is mainly just for pride at this point, but sometimes pride is important. You don't see the game. You are correct. Thank you, Matthew, aka Dark Risen. We've got the orange color here. I don't often see orange. The orange color with a little bit of an unfortunate hippopotamus kill here. So, got a little bit of walking time. You could just lure it right to the town center if you really wanted to. He's doubling up on gold and wood. I don't know if I'm really a fan of this. Like, you share a storehouse just to get, like, suboptimal gathering from both. I think over the long run, this will cost him more resources than it saved. Like, yeah, what are you saving 50 wood in the build time? I think you lose more with something like this. I mean, if you would have put it just right here, you probably would have been okay, but he didn't, and that's okay. On the top, we've got Doze is back to Loki, which he played in game 1. Remember that when you win, you got to switch gods, so Genoese Crossbowman keeps having to switch, and Doze gets to go back to Loki on the unknown. It doesn't look like there's very much water on here. In fact, this looks like we're gonna hit reveal. Let's see what we're looking at for a map. Oh, okay, we got a little bit of something. Got this tree line here. This is kind of the defining future feature of the game, is this tree line that kind of blocks off half the map. Well, not half, but I guess both of these are almost half. And you've got, again, you got these little roads that kind of want to connect the town centers. Though there isn't a road over here, so kind of unusual. Then you've got these roads. I like this. I don't know, the roads are kind of cool. Should the roads give your units mobility bonus, huh? Yeah, should they run like 10% faster when they're on the road? Why not, huh? Get a little bit more of like area of effect stuff going on. But then people like Johnny English wouldn't like that, would they? Because that's not Age of Mythology. Dagnabbit. There's something to be said about simplicity, though. What kind of relics we got? We've got the Trojan Gate Hinge, which makes walls stronger. We've got Charon's Obol, which villagers return their cost when they die. Okay, so I like all the relics. I feel like, though, relics like this or technologies like this, I'm not a fan of this game design. Because essentially the better you play, the worse this relic is. And that's backwards, right? It should be the other way around. Yeah, the only way you get use out of this is if you're losing units, which means you're probably playing worse. So, I don't know. It's like the catch-up mechanic in Mario Kart, I suppose, where, you know, when you're behind in Mario Kart, you get the lightning rod and the blue shell. Here you get Charon's Obol. And there's a few technologies that are like that too. Like, for example, Chronos. I don't like the Chronos benefit where when you lose units you get resources back, because again, if you're playing really well and being careful with your units, the bonuses becomes less. It's proportionally worse the better you play, which kind of goes against strategy games. You know, your goal in strategy games is to get the most out of your bonuses, and that is generally what defines good and bad players. You know, differentiates between them is who uses their bonus the best. Well, I, as a Cardinals player, would use my bonus the best by just send a Kiro Ballista in, they'll die, and I'll get resources back. But anyway, who cares about the soapbox? We've got the Genoese Crossbowman as Zeus going with a stable and a temple. And what is he going to make? We don't see any military units coming out yet. What are we doing here? We got 2 Hibicon. Are we making... Oh, we got a bolt. We have bolted a hearse here. Oh, don't lose. Okay. I do like the aggression here. Genoese has been kind of on the aggression in every game this series, and that's been going well for him. These guys are just begging to be attacked. But he doesn't know. Does he even know that those resources are back? He doesn't. He sees his elephants. So Genoese Crossbowman should know that there's 2 fat elephants behind his enemy's base. And he should be checking it. But it doesn't look like he's really pieced that together. He's more going on the aggression here, this throwing X-Men. Kind of a randomly placed longhouse here. Probably shouldn't be way out here. Again, yeah, Genoese crossbow just wandering through the building, the base, causing idle time. This guy, can he? Actually, it was a girl, I couldn't tell. She dies. Run, troll! Oh, you got these Greek heroes bashing away. Oh, doesn't even get the stone throw off. Just dies just like that. That's disappointing. This guy, is he stuck? No, I don't think he's stuck. He's just gonna die. I think he is stuck, actually. I always, because of this, there's some wonkiness with forests and Retold. I try to avoid building military buildings against tree lines like this. It's gonna cause problems. You gotta watch out though. You're losing some units or health here. A couple centaurs just sitting around. I like to see them moving back and forth or doing something. Yeah, killing this longhouse that was built in a unfortunate location. Still has no idea about this. Like, probably game over if he were to have found these. Doze is still in a bit of a rough spot here, but finding these would be kind of the end of the game. And really, this is where you got to kind of critically think a little bit when you're on the aggression. You haven't seen, he went through and knows the villagers weren't here. And he knows the villagers aren't here. Which has to tell him, has to tell the Genoese Crossbowman, that the villagers are somewhere. And if you don't know where they are, just keep checking until you find them. They're going to be somewhere. Like, again, he's checking. Well, he's going around here. Yeah, oh, well, he's scared of the troll. And he just hasn't put that together. And that's that kind of stuff, that kind of critical thinking in the midst of everything else you're trying to do is something that kind of separates, again, your top level player versus your middle player. Is because the middle player, Genoese Crossbowman was in a position to do a ton of damage, just didn't realize it. It kind of threw away that advantage or that possible, the potential there. Still in a good spot though, don't get me wrong. But should have known that, man, I don't see villagers here. I don't see villagers here. They have to be somewhere. And I think now maybe when he's going to go check. Oh, no, he's still not even going to check. I think it's too late now. Yeah, they're gone. Now they're back in the base. So, a bit of an oopsie. Got quite the wall here. Doze really wants these units as well. I'm wondering if he's just going to finish these chickens and then go over to this hunt. Does Doze win a fight? He's got some throwing axemen. I don't really know the purpose of these guys. I guess maybe Doze was like starved for food a little bit, in which case you make throwing axemen because you can't afford anything else. And now he's checking. He has no idea though that they were here. They were here. Now they're not. Always spy the enemy army as Loki, because you know exactly where their threat is. In fact, if I'm Doze here and I see these units over here, I'm going to this hunt right now. I'm going to it. Instead of the goats. Where did the rest of the army go? Blue has more army. Oh, now he's throwing all of his Hersier. Maybe oh, they're over here. They went for a very long flank, and the flank was not the flank he was looking for. Should have just fought that straight up. And again, he takes a fight right before he ages up. Just fall back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Genoese Crossbowman is missing an awesome opportunity there to kill all those. So Doze survives. He's in a rough spot though. And again, just an awkward fight here. Don't mind what he tried. He sent all his herdmen around. There's probably there's a throwing X-Men. Sent all his herdmen around for a flank, but it's kind of hard to flank when your flanking units just aren't fast. How do you... Where's this guy going? Oh, he's running around to the other side of the wall, isn't he? So, yeah, you maybe don't try to go for the flank if your units are slow. Also, now it's risky business coming out because at any time 5 Centaur could come running in and pour onto the herdmen here. But yeah, again, you fight your fight right before you age up. You miss out on all your Hersier age up bonus. This is what I'm talking about. You don't know where the enemy is. You just wander out. You're going to get caught out. Hide all that, and you're running around for... Oh, another guy. These arrows coming from the top of the sky here. Got this hunt here, just sitting here, and see now Doze is probably in a position where he really can't go on the hunt because he lost too many units. Way behind in villagers. Does Crossbowman have a second town center? He does. Overall, I mean, we've been kind of talking about Doze a little bit, kind of the gameplay, but which mainly because pretty much all 3 games the gameplay has occurred in Doze's base. But then that's well done to Genoese Crossbowman. Do we use flaming weapons here? I mean, you almost have to. Yeah, but then okay, you have a ceasefire. Wall him in, wall him in, wall him in. Not too late. Ah, rats. It would have been pretty hard to wall him in. Would have done it really fast. But yeah, well, this has been well played all 3 games by the Genoese Crossbowman, and you could pick and look at Doze and say, well, he did this wrong and did that wrong and did this wrong, but that happens when you're on the defense. That's what aggression is all about. Is you play aggressive to make the opponent make mistakes, force mistakes by being aggressive. When you're aggressive, you have to be careful as the aggressor not to go in too far, because if you dive too far and lose all your units, now your aggression has kind of cost you. So there's kind of that fine line there, but it's generally easier to play as long as you're a careful aggressive player. It's easier to play aggressive because you start forcing the opponent to make mistakes. That's kind of always been my opinion anyway. At least for me, that's how it works, because you just have to be able to keep up with the aggression. Unfortunate pathing when your units went over. I mean, yeah, the game has unfortunate pathing. Uh-oh, what are we going to see here? Is there an army here? Oh, there's not even any villagers here. They're over here. They're over here. Oh, interesting. Did not notice. This is something that probably to pay attention, is that this was the large gold mine. 6,000 gold in the base as opposed to 3,000. But what I was talking about pathing. So Age of Mythology, is pathing perfect? No. But certainly with like old school Age of Mythology, and I feel like it's mostly consistent here. players, there's ways to move your army to make sure that the pathing doesn't screw you over. And you just got to understand kind of how pathing works. And what if you do something that'll screw you up. Wow, these pigs are tanking so many arrows. What does Doze do here? I'm not really sure. This is a scary force of mass pollen centaurs, mass hippocons. We've got more ranged units behind. This is quite the front line here. This might be the last hurrah here. We get a Valkyrie who's not going to save the day. Uh-oh, these forgot to run, though. Now they're on the front line. Yeah, get them back. All right, there we go. But there's just so many more units for the Genoese Crossbowman. And the last pig here. Bucking away. Just really nice pressure overall from Mr. Crossbowman all game. And he's up here. The Genoese Crossbowman is all over the map. This has been well played by him. A well played series, really. Strong aggression every game. My thought was that if I'd scouted better and walled to the long tree line, so you mean like wall here? But I mean you can't really wall here because of this. I don't know if it would save you a whole lot. Uh-oh. Oh no. What, you block them though. Path block. Full underworld. That's it. GG. Well done by the Genoese Crossbowman. Good try by Doze. Wasn't quite his day yesterday. Won the other series though. But the Genoese Crossbowman took all three of these. Well done. Good pressure all three games. That's the danger of playing defensive, is you get stuck in your base. I don't know if this wall here would really save you a whole lot because you are never really in a position to defend well. I don't think you could have held this wall. In which case, I don't know if it really helps you if you build this. The other thing I would say, though, you'll hear me harp on this. I hate walls like this because this wall does not help you much at all. The reason I hate this wall is because you can't go through it. I would almost never build a wall that's not long enough to turn it into a gate. Because you cut yourself up. You want to have the flexibility to go through here. Every little bit of flexibility helps that your opponent doesn't have. So yeah, it probably didn't really make a problem or make a difference here. But yeah, if you just angle it slightly differently, sure you're paying a little bit more gold, but sometimes that's all you need. Yeah, I think those, and you kind of mentioned it, is if you're going to play defensive, send out a few units to be aggressive. Though maybe this game wouldn't be the one to do it because if you send units out, you're just going to get pinched by all the Hippocon and Centaurs. Your play here, I think of all three games, this was the least close game. Even though game one was kind of a train wreck at the beginning, this one probably you had the least chance in overall. This one is more so you just got to be careful, save your units, and then get a nice age 3 timing and do something with that. Instead, kind of like the first game, you took a big fight before you got age 3. And that kind of cost you because now you don't have units for your flaming weapons. Your Hersier die before they aged up. And I would agree. And we go back to the chat with Matthew talking about the building placement. I think if you look at your building placement here, it just doesn't make any sense. your building placement is just kind of all over the place. Like you're like your own buildings here block you off from your berries. Um, these buildings are kind of blocking you off from coming back and forth over here. You've got a temple that also kind of blocks you off. Um, my preference when it comes to base building is put the walls on the edges with a gate. Put your buildings in the middle. So what you do is if you move this one here, move this here. This was probably up against a forest at some point. So I mean, this was a little tight. But you move this here, put a wall and a gate over here, so you can come through here. Once this gets cut down, you can kind of wall and gate this if you want. But yeah, I think the biggest problem is your lack of buildings on the front. I know there was one killed here, but you gotta do something wall maybe here to here, something like that. But yeah, this doesn't help you a whole lot over here. Um, it's just stuff to think about where when you're playing the game, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, at the end of the game, are you going to say, well, geez, I wish I would have built this here. It would have been a whole lot different. But it can make a difference. Um, just going back to what I said earlier, what you want to do is make your base easy to move through for yourself, hard to move through for your opponent, which is where some key gates in key spots can really change things where you can just go zoop right through and the opponent's got to go around or go through, destroy it. So keep that in mind. If you put up a wall like this, a building wall, you block yourself out, which you're gonna have to do that at some point. Tempo is the zone off. See, I would still almost just build a wall here. Wall this temple here, because then you can go in and out. You know what I mean? I mean, how much hit points? Wall does have a little bit less, but it also has more armor, so it's not as different as it looks. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd wall here and then temple here. But yeah, it's also a little forward. But yeah, it's tough when you got a gold mine that you got to protect. Um, this one was tough. Genoese Crossbowman played this one pretty well. But yeah, when you play defensive every game, kind of lets him do whatever he wants. But let's take a look at the post game. I would think of the 3 games, the game you had the most chance of winning was the second one. You would have had a good shot there if that second fight goes a little better. This one, Genoese Crossbowman played this really well. You would have had to play quite a bit better to match up with him. And sometimes that happens. Be okay to give up the games that just aren't working out, but work on the ones that are close. Like, what could I have done differently in that game? The middle game. And that's when it comes to, we got a little time here. When it comes to improving in Age of Mythology, really the best way is to watch your recorded games, but the asterisk to that is that you have to understand why you lost. If you have no clue what really caused you to lose, watching your own recorded game doesn't really help because you're not going to learn anything from it because you're not going to really understand what you're seeing. So in which cases sometimes it's good to have other people, if you have those other people, to kind of take a look um, and say, well, this is what could be done differently. This is your kind of one fatal flaw. Here on this game, there would have been a lot of stuff to change, but like that second game, just that fight in the middle, if you would have just changed that one thing, and that's the game that you can work on. Is that just the decision making for that fight? And why did you decide to fight forward and back? And then work on that decision making. Like, what was it that in that game that made you decide I'm going to do this? And then when it's a bad decision, you need to be able to figure out why did you make that decision. to be able to fix that in the future. Because just seeing that and saying, "Oh, that was dumb," you gotta understand the foundation of why was that dumb. When I lose, I become sad. When I'm sad, you look at me. Um, it is true that you do have this many villagers praying. It is true. As far as though, as far as what to do here, though, this is where I'm not really sure. I'm not a Norse player, but I'm kind of along the same lines as the Genoese Crossbowman with my gameplay, where I've reached the point that if the games are slow, my macro is too bad to keep up with players at my level, so to speak. So for me, the messier the game, the better it is for me, because I'm going to be messy anyway. I might as well make the enemy be messy. So that's where the aggression kind of could play into your favor a little bit. If you know your behind the scenes fundamentals is bad or tough, then you just make their fundamentals bad. And how do you do that? By being aggressive, having a crazy game. The only last thing we're going to look at here, we'll maybe try to figure out what is the end result for this group. So I want to say we got quite a few of the players from the Centaur division here. Thank you guys very much for getting these games in so quickly. And really is a cool division for it to end the way that it did. I'm really happy about that. That's kind of what I wanted. Well, not kind of. That is what I wanted with this. Is I wanted, as close as possible divisions. And some divisions, some players aren't. It didn't end up being quite so close for them. Um, that stinks. But yeah, this really makes me happy. I mean, not seeing Doze at fifth. That's not what I'm talking about. But the records here makes me. I like to see this. And appreciate all of you for playing in Doze, even though it didn't end up. I hope you enjoyed your time here. You had some close matches here. So we got to work on the tiebreakers here. So obviously Genoese Crossbowman is first, but now we have to decide who's going to get second here. Keep in mind too, so going forward is that our next league will probably be in mid-January. Will be my goal to start the next season in mid-January, mid to late, probably late January. So keep that in mind. If you enjoyed your time here, we'll be trying to, bring it back, run it again in a couple months. So if I'm looking on here, so your three-way tiebreaker is going to be strength of schedule or strength of victory, I guess. And that means who beat Genoese Crossbowman of these three is going to be your second place player. So Genoese Crossbowman lost to Thora. So I would say that puts Thora as second. Did Skater and Joey Bads. Otherwise, I think they're all the same, right? So then what that would tell me is that it goes to who won between Joey Bads and Thora, because I feel like Joey Bads and Joey Bads and Skater, I feel like they have the same strength of victory, because yeah, they would have taken a game off of everybody. They took one game off of Genoese Crossbowman each. So yes, all matches went 2-1 except for that one. That was cool though. This really entertains me. You have no idea how much this has entertained me. So my thought, and I'll have to double check this, so don't call your mom yet. Um, but my thought is that Genoese Crossbowman is first, obviously. Thora is second by strength of schedule. And then it goes to Skater and Joey Bads are now equally tied, but we have Skater beating Joey Bads, which, in the way I'm looking at it right now, is that now you have Skater as your third place and Joey is fourth. Doze is fifth. That's what I say. That's my initial thought looking at this. I'll confirm it. I'll make sure that I'm not looking at it wrong. But that's what I think. Is Valit the monster? Could be. He's looked good so far. He's dropped one game just to this guy, and we had another game that was super tight. I took a really bad fight. Talking about bad fights, I took a fight I thought I'd win, and I did not win the fight. That happens. But there's some good players over here too. Um, Malty and Entropic are both really good. And then let's not forget the guys down here. This division a little bit open. We got the third place spot is still open here. Right there. But yeah, Valit is, I mean, for me, he's the most known player in all of this, but I think probably a lot of these players don't even know who Valit is. I mean, Valit, top player back, we're talking 10 years ago. Yeah, what are we at? Yeah, 2024, top player 10 years ago. But now we're in 2024, but still pretty good. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm so glad actually that the recorded games did not go out of sync. I was worried about that. So that is the series. Thank you, Doze. Thank you, Genoese Crossbowman, for a nice set there. And appreciate everybody else that tuned in to watch. It was a fun set. We didn't quite get that magical 5-man tie. That would have been awesome. But well, dreams exist to be crushed. That was my dream, the 5-man tie, and it got crushed. So that's the purpose of dreams. All your hopes and dreams for a better future. But all right, well, Genoese Crossbowman, I will we will see you in the playoffs, and I will have to get all of that stuff sorted out. I play my last match tonight, so I can be done with all of my matches and kind of just focus on getting everything set up for the playoffs. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for playing for everybody that's in the league. And I will see all of you guys later. When is my retold rap battle? I've matured greatly since then. No more rap battles. Yeah, right. All right. See everybody later. Have a good day.